Good evening. Here's top news newsletter starting with headlines. Syria government and opposition meet in Moscow. Israeli raids hit alleged Syrian military targets. 17 Zionist forces killed in missile attacks near Lebanon border. Iran sent message to US, Israel to suffer after Golan aggression. Representatives of Syrian government and opposition parties began talks today in Moscow. The 32 members of various opposition groups, tolerated by Damascus, and 6 members of official Syrian delegation, led by the ambassador to the United States, Bashar al-Jafari. Al-Jafari delivered a speech at the opening of the meeting, in which he stressed that the consultative meeting should not be a form of grandstanding. Al-Jafari reminded that the Syrian government has responded to all Arab and international initiatives, with which it cooperated constructively and transparently. Opposition source at the meeting said that those attending were putting forward a 10-point list aimed at defusing the nearly 4 years of war. After the meeting this morning, Russia Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov was set to meet the Syrian delegation later. The Western-backed exiled opposition alliance, the National Coalition, is not attending the Moscow talks, although 5 of its members are there in a personal capacity, along with members of opposition groups tolerated by Damascus. On the ground, Syrian army strikes on terrorist dens in Douma city led to the death of 15 terrorists and the destruction of a rocket launch pad, in addition to leaving 13 terrorists dead or injured. In Jobar, army units destroyed a rocket launch pad of Burj al-Muallimin, eliminating several terrorists, while in Harasta, Northern Farms, and El Kalamon area, an army unit clashed with terrorist group and killed most of its members. While units of the army and armed forces killed and injured sources of terrorists in some villages in Idlib, the army destroyed a dens of terrorists, while leaders of the so-called Jabhat al-Nusra, Swords of Islam, and Al-Haraj Sham were holding a meeting at Samin town in Idlib countryside. The Zionist entity carried out an override raids against alleged Syrian army targets. The Israeli military said Wednesday, saying Damascus was responsible for the rocket fire that hit the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Military spokesman Peter Lerner said the occupation army holds the Syrian government accountable for all attacks emanating from its land and will operate by any means necessary to defend Israeli civilians, he added. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu later warned the entity was ready to respond with force to any attack. U.S. State Department spokeswoman Jen Psaki said before the Israeli attack that Washington had seen the news of Tuesday rocket firing and did not want to an escalation of the situation. We support Israel's legitimate right to self-defense and have been clear about our concerns over the regional instability caused by the crisis in Syria, she told reporters. In Lebanon, it's reported that 1 Zionist soldier captured in Lebanese border and 6 soldiers seriously injured. Zionist military says anti-attack missile fired at military vehicle near Lebanese border. Zionist military says the attack on Wednesday took place near Munduv and Shab'a farms, a disputed tract of land where the borders of Israel, Lebanon, and Syria meet, AP reports. In the same view, the Iranian deputy foreign minister said Zionist regime's officials will suffer the consequences of Zionist airstrike that killed 6 Hezbollah members and an Iranian commander in Syria's Golan Heights. Hossein Amir Abdullahian said that following the attack, the Islamic Republic sent a message to the United States through diplomatic channels, warning that the Israeli regime should suffer the consequences of its wrongful act of aggression. In the message, Iran declared that the Israeli regime has crossed Iranian red lines by its wrongful act, he said. On January 17, an Israeli military helicopter fired 2 missiles into Al-Amal farms in the strategic southern city of Quneitra, killing 6 Hezbollah members, as well as Brigadier General Muhammad Ali al-Ladali, an Iranian commander. The Zionist entity later claimed that it was unaware of the presence of an Iranian commander in the area. That was all for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nibal Hneidi. Good night.